here we are. It is Friday, January 26, 2024. My name is Matt, and this is your daily crypto news. You know what? I just got really bullish a minute ago because I was talking to my buddy, Paul McNeil, the crypto curator. He was on the show multiple times. But, yesterday I talked about Mt. Gox and them repaying the people who lost their Bitcoin through the hack of Mt. Gox, 10 years ago. And everybody was assuming that it was around $30 billion of Bitcoin about to go into the hands of people that got really rich overnight. Not overnight, after 10 years of not having their coin, give them their Bitcoin back, and then they're going to dump on the market. Well, Simon Mao and Travis Kling, they both say that, that it's not going to be that big. That Mt. Gox actually only has around 180,000 Bitcoin, which is still a lot, but it's about $8 billion, a lot less than the $30 billion that they thought. And then it's not like the GBTC. It's not like they're going to, be forced to dump on the market. It's going to be that, are people going to hodl or are people not? Are people going to sell or are people going to sell all at once or are people going to sell over time? And how are they going to do that? Maybe they'll sell one right now to do something like buy a new car and then continue to hodl. So maybe let's just say 8 billion is out there to the people. 4 billion gets sold, which is a little downward pressure, but then everybody else is just kind of like, hey, let's figure some things out. And so are we bullish? I mean, we have people like Arthur Hayes, as you heard yesterday, that thinks that Bitcoin is going to go down to $30,000. We've heard other people saying that Bitcoin is going to go below 30 into the 20s. I don't believe that, but there's lots of people saying lots of things, as people do. Another narrative that's going around right now is that a lot of people, OGs are kind of pissed at this whole thing. They're pissed at the ETF because what Bitcoin has turned into is just a money-making investment. Is number going to go up instead of the transformational, revolutionary technology that was envisioned back in the day by Satoshi Nakamoto? A kind of currency that was not inflationary, a kind of currency that was not controlled by one government, a kind of currency that was transparent, so you didn't have shady shadow banking practices in the back end, making deals that don't make sense. Also, maybe could be added to governments, so there's more transparency about how they're using and spending your tax dollars. This was all what Bitcoin was for, and now it's just turned into a commodity of number go up. Did we lose the plot? I don't think so. I think that we still have this aspect of the technology of Bitcoin that is this revolutionary, transparent, autonomous, sovereign money. But we also have an ETF now. And just because, and I keep saying this, just because you have banks and institutions buying up this Bitcoin or trading this Bitcoin, or it's now a publicly traded commodity as an ETF form, doesn't mean that the inherent good or the inherent qualities of Bitcoin doesn't exist. The issue will be is if all of the institutions and all of the governments hold all the Bitcoin and you don't have any. That is the issue. If there's 21 million Bitcoin and they have 19 million of them, yeah, that's an issue. That's not really for the people. That's why you got to stack your stats and you have to have self-custody if you believe that this could be a revolutionary game changer in the future. Right now, it's a publicly traded commodity. What do you think? Again, Matt at dailycryptonews.net. Enough for me this morning. Let's get into Asia Focus.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Asia Focus, a weekly section of Daily Crypto News. I'm Sarah. Hope you had a great week. Let's get started. A leading Japanese crypto advocate, Takeshi Fujimaki, has won back his seat in the House of Councillors, the nation's lower parliamentary house. Fujimaki is a 73-year-old crypto and blockchain champion, and he will take his place in the House following the death of a sitting lawmaker. And this news is interesting because he has been spoken in favor of issues such as crypto tax reform, US-style crypto ETF approval, wider adoption of pro-crypto business policies. Overall, he was manifesting his idea that if Japan supports crypto industry, then it will greatly help the financial growth of Japan, and it could also attract a lot of international talents around the world. I mean, it's kind of true, right? And he's not the only one in Japan. A growing number of Japanese politicians have expressed an interest in fostering the crypto sector in recent years. One of them is the leader of the opposition Democratic Party for the People, MP Yuichiro Tamaki, who said in 2022 that Tokyo should promote Web3 and the token economy. Interesting. And Yuichiro said his party wanted to tax cryptocurrencies at a flat rate of 20% instead of including the crypto profits on income tax declaration. And another person is MP Shun Otokira of the Japanese Innovation Party, and he has also urged the government to change its crypto tax laws. All right, there are a lot of news coming out these days from Japan, so I guess my prediction was right. I was digging Japanese crypto market, and now they are really back in the game, and I couldn't be happier about it. A bit old news, but I thought important, so I brought it today, nearly a decade after Mt. Gox's dramatic collapse. Some of the customers who used this exchange claim they have received their long-awaited repayments. Wow, a decade, huh? Posts to the Mt. Gox creditor subreddit as well as posts in a dedicated Telegram channel indicate that certain payments have indeed gone out in the form of the Japanese yen to creditors who appear to have chosen to receive such payments via PayPal. Last November, Kobayashi, the Mt. Gox rehabilitation trustee, wrote in a message to creditors that some cash repayments would be issued before end of the year. Quote, the rehabilitation trustee plans to commence repayment to creditors shortly. The rehabilitation trustee is making efforts to commence repayments in cash within the 2023 calendar year. End quote. Kobayashi's November missive explained. However, due to the large number of rehabilitation creditors who will receive repayment, the varying types of repayments, the different preparation and processing times required to make the repayment, and repayments will continue into 2024, end quote. So this news is a bit old, but I wanted to bring it because it was kind of the first news of this whole series of Mt. Gox rehabilitation. Now, as of January 26th, Friday, there are a bunch of people already got their repayments from Mt. Gox Rehabilitation Trustee, which is a good sign. But guess, a decade they had to wait. I mean, waiting is a generous word, but it happened, so I'm happy for them. Gary Tew, Executive Director and Head of Regulatory Affairs of OSL, a Hong Kong licensed crypto exchange, said that Hong Kong could potentially see the issuance of its first spot crypto exchange traded funds ETF by the middle of this year, according to local media, the Hong Kong Economic Journal. He added, quote, these ETFs offer several crucial benefits, including promoting orderly markets for underlying digital assets, establishing a model for local investor protection, and accelerating integration between regulated digital asset platforms and traditional financial institutions. Yada, yada, yada. Well put. Anyways, about 10 fund companies have begun exploring the launch of such ETFs in the city for some time now. We have seen a couple news coming out about that by Hashkeys and so on. And Hong Kong has currently listed several futures-based crypto ETFs already: Samsung Bitcoin Futures Active ETF, CSOP Bitcoin Futures ETF, and CSOP Ether Futures ETF. But we're moving towards first spot crypto ETF in Asia, in Hong Kong. Indonesia's Ministry of Finance said the total tax revenue from crypto in 2023 was $31.7 million, which is about Indonesian rupiah 467.27 billion. Wow. That's very insignificant. The country's tax revenue last year fell 62% compared to the partial collection period in 2022, when the tax regime was introduced in May 2022. So if we dive a little bit deeper here, crypto transactions in Indonesia are subject to dual taxation system, a 0.1% income tax and a 0.11% value-added tax, VAT. That is a very, very low number, I gotta say. And additionally, local crypto exchanges must contribute around 0.04% tax to the national crypto bourse, compared to US being 0 to 10%, 20% according to how much you gained, and Japan up to 55%. I mean, Korea is talking also around 10 to 20%. I think that is very standard, and it's not even close to that number, so that's very, very low. Not sure how they got to this number, but that's the news. That's all for today.
And briefly, in some other news, Bitcoin pioneer Jeff Garzik, he has a new production company. It's called Next Cypher, and he's tapped Star Trek's Jonathan Frakes to direct and adapt a sci-fi novel called Deathlands. As you guys know, Jonathan is Commander Riker on Star Trek, The Next Generation, and he has, directed a lot of Star Trek. From Next Generation episodes to Star Trek movies to Star Trek Picard to Strange New Worlds. He's been around. But anyway, this Deathlands is based on a novel by James Exler and Jack Arden, and it follows a band of survivors traversing the post-apocalyptic world using teleportation technology. It's like Mad Max. It's like post-apocalyptic. It's like Mad Max meets AI, meets the monsters from Tremors, and everything else in between. So that's going to be turned into a TV show with Jonathan at the helm. I'm looking forward to it. I always like some good sci-fi, but if you have teleportation technology, I'm just wondering, why is these monsters even a thing if you could just like teleport them somewhere else, or have the technology so advanced that you could just zap them all? Maybe they have technology too. Maybe they have like little laser guns on their foreheads or something. Anyway, if you guys know about Deathlands, let me know. ARK Invest continues to offload shares of their ProShares Bitcoin Trust ETF, or ticker BITO, BITO, while accumulating their own spot Bitcoin ETF. Cathie Wood's investments sold around 2,226,191 shares of Bitcoin futures ETF since January 19th, worth around $42.8 million at yesterday's closing price at around $19.22. Meanwhile, they've bought around 1,563,000 shares of ARK 21 shares Bitcoin ETF, or ARK-B, worth around $62.3 million. Long story short is their ARK-W holds around $91.4 million of ARK-B, constituting around 6% of their weighted fund total value. And if you guys want to summarize that to one short phrase, they're stacking sats. And finally, apparently there's been no decision to make or pursue a digital pound, the so-called Britcoin, the British CBDC. The Bank of England and His Majesty's Treasury said that we will make sure that we can design a digital pound that will work for you before any decisions are made on whether or not to start building it. They said that a digital pound will be private, but it won't be anonymous, unlike cash. Red flag. They continue to say a digital pound will not replace cash. Not yet. So the public will continue to have access to an anonymous payment option for now. And they guaranteed both users' privacy and that neither the Bank of England nor the government would control how you spend your money. I call BS. Some 130 countries representing 98% of the global GDP are currently exploring a CBDC. The Chinese digital yuan is the most advanced. The nation rolled out the digital wallet for its citizens, and some Chinese provinces can receive their salaries in that digital yuan or the China's CBDC. A total of 64 countries are in advanced phases of exploration, which includes development, pilot, or launch.
Now let's get into those crypto prices.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
And the time is 9:48 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Number go up and fear greed go down. I don't understand that. We are at 49, neutral still, leaning toward the fearful. Bitcoin sitting at $41,294, up 3.5% in 24. We're at $41,300 for the most part, and people are getting fearful. I mean, if you've been in this crypto space for a while, you're always fearful, to be honest with you. You never know what's going to happen. Ethereum's at $2,248, up 2.2%. Tether's number 3, Binance is at 302, up 3.2%. And Solana's at 91.42. Let me say that again, 91.42. Did I not tell you earlier this week to buy it at 82? I told you. I'm telling you. It's up 3.6% in 24. Running off the top 10, we have XRP, USDC, Cardano, Avalanche, which is up 7%. I told you guys again, I'm telling you. And Dogecoin's number 10. By the way, if you want another entry point, Matic is at like 74 cents. Matic is at 74 cents. Just throwing that out there, guys. This is not financial advice. Nothing I say is financial advice. I'm just saying go out and buy Matic. I'm kidding. Don't listen to me. Total market cap is at 1.6 trillion. We have a Bitcoin dominance of 50.7 and an ETH dominance of 16.9. And by the way, when I tell you these prices and when I tell you what I want to buy or what I'm looking at or anything, do not email me. I had a friend, I know he was joking, but he called me about 2 weeks ago. He said, what should I buy? And I said, okay, here's the 5 coins that I would put money into. And he sent me a screenshot yesterday or maybe 2 days ago and said, I'm down 25% on all of them. And he hates me for it. And I'm like, bro, so don't do that to me. Again, I'm just giving you my advice is if you pull the trigger and put money into any of these cryptos, that's on you, 100% on you. But I always wish you the best luck. And if you do happen to buy that Lambo and pay off your house, send me an email and let me know about your good fortune. It'll make me happy. And until that happens, happy hodling, everyone.